Jesus took Peter, James, and John and led them up a high mountain apart by themselves. And he was transfigured before them, and his clothes became dazzling white, such as no fuller on earth could bleach them. Then Elijah appeared to them along with Moses, and they were conversing with Jesus. Then Peter said to Jesus in reply, "Rabbi, it is good that we are here. Let us make 3 tents, one for you, one for Moses, and one for Elijah." He hardly knew what to say, they were so terrified. Then a cloud came, casting a shadow over them. Then from the cloud came a voice, "This is my beloved Son, listen to him." Suddenly, looking around, the disciples no longer saw anyone but Jesus alone with them. As they were coming down from the mountain, he charged them not to relate what they had seen to anyone, except when the Son of Man had risen from the dead. So they kept the matter to themselves, questioning what rising from the dead meant. Then they asked him, "Why do the scribes say that Elijah must come first?" He told them, "Elijah will indeed come first and restore all things. Yet how is it written regarding the Son of Man that he must suffer greatly and be treated with contempt? But I tell you that Elijah has come, and they did to him whatever they pleased, as it is written of him." The Gospel of the Lord. The story of the Transfiguration on Mount Tabor teaches us that Jesus knows human nature perfectly well, the fragility of our nature wounded by original sin. He knows how easy it is for us to forget our love and fidelity promises. He knows and loves us because he knows us. He knows us. That is why the Lord knew that when the moment of the cross came, they would enter into crisis for various reasons. How could the Son of God be crucified, although he had told them and was insisting on it, and because they also were afraid that the same thing would happen to them? Precisely for that reason, he wanted to give them a support and extra help. They had been with him more or less 3 years. They had seen him do great miracles. They had heard him. They knew how beautiful his message was. They had seen the holiness of his behavior. More reasons than those were not necessary to be faithful, but Jesus knew that they would betray him. They would deny him. He wanted to make this last gesture of support, this last gift of special graces that was the Transfiguration on Mount Tabor. It was like a kind of spiritual exercises that the Lord gave to these 3 selected from among the chosen, so that when the crisis came, they would endure, and if they did not endure, at least they would remember. Because these 3 are the same ones to whom the Lord asked to stay close to him while he was sweating blood on the Mount of Olives. They are the same ones that the Lord had put in front. Peter, who represents the hierarchy, James, the missionary, St. John, the spirituality, Jesus' friend, the one to whom he entrusted the Blessed Virgin Mary. They were the 3 most loved by Jesus, the 3 that he needed the most. Where were they on Holy Thursday night in the garden while Jesus was praying and suffering? Sleeping. Where were they while Jesus was scourged, and then when he died, except John, who was at the Virgin's side? The others were hidden. The Lord also knew this, but he wanted to give them this extra gift so that if they were not able to remember it in the moment of the cross, they would remember it at least afterwards, and repentant, they would return to follow Christ, as it happened. What is the teaching? We have to be faithful to the moments in which we have been enlightened. We have to remember the good moments of life, the good moments in the relationships with people, the good moments in the relationship with God. We have to remember that precisely when the bad moments come, because those good moments are like an investment that God has made. Let us imagine that we have a current account in a bank, and a friend makes us a generous gift because he knows that in a while, although we may not know it at that moment, we're going to be unemployed and then we will need that help. Our friend, in a foresighted way, has made a deposit in our current account so that when we are unemployed, we can use that money and move forward. Well, that is what Jesus did, and in bad times, we have to use the money we have saved in our checking account. We have to remember the good times in our relationship with people and in our relationship with God. God cannot be permanently carrying us in his arms because it would hurt us. A mother cannot carry her child in her arms all her life. He is 40 years old. It is time for him to walk on his own feet. She cannot continue to be a helicopter parent who continuously flies over her child in a protective way and in the end prevents him from growing. There is something else. The Lord took them to do spiritual exercises. Why don't we do that? Why don't we go on spiritual exercises ourselves? We need that extra help, those injections of spirituality. We need those personal encounters, those indelible personal encounters that leave a mark in the soul. We need them because afterwards there will come other moments in which it will be very difficult to persevere, and we will ask ourselves where God is hiding. When we ask ourselves that question, remember those good moments and do our best with daily prayer or with special encounters with God. Do our best to have good moments that will get us out of trouble in difficult moments. Amen.